All right, so listen, who's ready for a great makeover? Listen, so my wife and I are going to be team teaching this, except for the fact that my wife can literally not speak a word from her mouth. She's completely 100% hoarse. And so for those of you guys that want to hear her voice, I'll talk in a higher pitch. And I'm not going to wear your heels. I'm not going to do it. Although it was an opportunity to do that as an example, but I'm not going to go there. It's not that night of the week. But listen, so we are going to give you the greatest makeover that you've ever had, literally in your entire life. Past your hair, past makeup, past your clothes, past everything. It starts in your seat tonight. So I'm going to take it from here. Big round of applause for the person the reason that you're here for this makeover is this woman right here. Big round of applause, Dr. Kimberly Erb. Mwah. Love you. All right, so listen. We got to be high energy. Let me just make sure that you know the rules today. If you've been raise your hand if you've been to a makeover before with me. Good, so about a third of the room. There's a couple rules. Number 1, have fun. Number 2, play hard. The harder you play in here, the harder you'll play where? Out there. Say out there. Out there. Say out there. Out there. The harder you play in here, the more that you'll retain. The more fun that you have, the longer you'll retain it. Can I say fun? Say fun. Fun. Listen. Everybody knows when you have fun, you do better. If you go to the gym and you work hard, you get more results. If you go to the gym, you see the person at the gym and they're going, how you doing? Like this. And the person's in there just hitting it and they're dripping with sweat and sweat's splashing off to the person next to them. Who gets more out of the gym? The second person. Today I want you to play hard, but I want you to have fun so you retain it. Does that make sense? Now let's do something. I want to see if I'm talking to the right group. I want you to raise your hand if you or a loved one has been affected by cancer. Just raise your hand. Now just keep them up for me. Keep them up. Now, I want you to also raise your hand, the other one, or if you haven't raised it yet, keep it up. It's like an exercise too, by the way. Do you feel that yet? Raise your hand now if you or a loved one has been affected by heart disease. Anybody? Now I want you to everybody look around the room. Do you see that? Everybody's got hands up. That's what I'm talking about. Now let's go the other way with it. You are going to hear research today, and it's going to surprise you. It really is going to surprise you. I can tell you every time I see new research, especially like the ones I'm going to give you guys today that surprise me, I guarantee you when you hear it, it's going to surprise you. You need to open your mind a little bit because the first thing you're going to want to do is when you hear this research and it flies against everything that you've known, you're going to want to what? Question it. Stop. I can't hear that. You may feel judged a little bit. The one thing I want you to get today is different. If you can't come in here with an open mind to be different, you might not get something out. So what I want you to do is I want you to play hard. And one of the things playing hard means is you're open to listen to something new. Can you do that? Got it? So let's do this. Raise your hand if you'd like to decrease your likelihood of cancer by 80%. Raise your hand. Yeah, and everybody claps on that one. Now, hands down. Raise your hand if you'd like to decrease your likelihood of cardiovascular disease by 63%. Can I get some hands on that one? That is exactly what we're going to do today. So now have a seat. I've got you up long enough. If it looks like I'm pacing, it's because I've been waiting for weeks to give you this. I've been like a kid at Christmas all week long, and I've had all these things I can't wait to give you. And as a result, it's like slipping out of my mouth, all the new research, because I'm excited to give it to you. So today you're going to get a lot of new stuff. Today, though, is the beginning of a challenge for you. It starts today. Let me tell you what you're going to get today. By the time I'm done with today, I'm going to make sure you have the absolute world's greatest, best opportunity to have the nutrients or supplementation that you need. Okay? The second thing I'm going to do is if you are not on the journey, if you're a guest with us, I'm going to absolutely make sure that you get the opportunity and the understanding of what the most important test for your health will ever be and have a chance to do that. And by the time I'm done and you walk out and it's time to start your car and drive home, I want you to have the greatest event that you've ever been to, and I want you to be saying, I wish every single person I know was here to hear that, and we're going to give you the opportunity to make sure that happens. Can I get a round of applause for that? All right? So that's what today's going to look like. But starting out, what does this really look like, and where did it begin? This is where it started. So my friend of mine had terminal brain cancer that had metastasized from his bones. They gave him less than a month to live. They did a 15-hour surgery to find out he had inoperable brain tumors. You can see that on the left. And because he had a life-threatening illness and he overcame it, what he learned was that the cause was the cure. That the cause was the cure. And that's what we've been teaching at Maximize Living for decades now. And literally reversing disease, reversing diagnoses, getting people off of medications. And literally, you start looking at what's capable here. I got an email yesterday from a patient that came into an office, that we have offices all over the world. It was in Nashville, Dr. Mark Prendergrass. And a lady had come in. She had phase 3 breast cancer that had metastasized into phase 4. It was everywhere. They'd sent her home, said 3 to 5 months tops. She said she tried a bunch of the conventional cancer care, and she said, you know what, I'm done. And I think she was actually giving up. But she ended up at her office. And listen, let me be very clear. I am not a cancer doctor, and I do not treat cancer, okay? But what I do very well is get bodies healthy. Does that make sense? And a healthy body has the chance to overcome and heal. Does everybody understand the difference in that? So she comes in, she gets the protocols that I'm going to give you today, many of those, and as a result, she went and got a PET scan 2 days ago. Comes into the office and she's crying. So being the eternal optimist that Dr. Mark is, what did he assume? Yes, something's bad. So she comes in crying and then gets a smile on her face. She says, Dr. Mark, she did a PET scan, it's completely gone. It's 100% gone. Yeah, you can round applause on that. But let me ask you a question. If you can find the cause and you can remove it and somebody can heal, can you create that, remove the cause in somebody that doesn't have the diagnosis yet and keep them from having it? Yes or no? So the cause is the cure. Okay, but let's just see where the state of the union for women really is. Okay, for instance, 67% of women have sleeping problems. And when questioned, 75% of women think that sleep is absolutely important. If you're a woman in the house and you think sleep's important, just raise your hand. Now, keep your hand up if you miss sleep occasionally. There we go, 67%. 65% suffer from stress. 64% eat unhealthy, and there's a myriad of reasons for that. 71% literally struggle just to eat right, okay? That's the stats. And you want to get into it, this is the other stats. 36% of women are obese. I didn't say overweight. I said obese. Did you hear what I said? There's a difference. Obese is a different planet, okay? Obese is what they actually now labeled obesity as a disease. Did everybody know that? It was a year and a half ago. Officially, obesity is its own disease. A third of women will be diagnosed with cancer. 1/3. Okay? So 1, 2, you have cancer. 1, 2, you have cancer. 1, 2, you see where I'm going with this? That's extraordinarily epidemic. Okay? Now, on top of that, 22% will have hypertension. Or actually, it's 32% will have hypertension, 22% will die from heart disease, and 21% will die from cancer. When 1 out of 5 women are dying from either heart disease or cancer, do you think that someone ought to just stop? Let's do this. Play with me a little bit. Everybody get in your time capsule. Get in your time capsule. Go all the way back before you were the age of 10. Now, if you're really young, this may not work, but if you're 35, over 40s especially, over 40s, you'll get this. Now, go back before you were 10. Are you with me? Once you think about what life was like, your parents or your mom or your dad or whoever, whatever it was. Now, I want you to think in your mind, how many people can I think of that have cancer? Or that I heard were dealing with cancer or suffering with cancer or going through cancer treatment? Think about that for a second. If you're over 40, it may be 1. If you're over 50, it's 1 or 0. And if it's 60, the most likely answer is 0. Are you with me? Go like this if you're tracking. Now, the reason I bring that up is because right now the American Cancer Society will tell you, and it's on their website, that they are winning the war on cancer. Less people are being diagnosed. More people are actually living longer through treatment. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think we are winning the war on cancer? We are not. We are not. And let me tell you something. The reason that we're doing this makeover for women, and not just another cancer killer makeover, is very specific. It was a while back. I don't know if it was about a year or so, but Kimberly and I were having a conversation. And it was one of these on a date night. It was very intimate conversation where we're talking. And it went from intimate conversation to tears. Can I get if you're a husband in the room, can I get a hand? I just need a little bit of guy love. You ever had that where all of a sudden she's crying and you don't know why she's crying? Went from intimate conversation to tears, and all of a sudden, the woman that God has given me to love and protect, the mother of my children, the love of my heart, the diamond in my house, the daughter of the king that I'm supposed to take care of, because of the lifestyle that is what's supposed to be what a good woman does on this. You know, I just did this, and all of you women went like this. And we know I have one of the largest natural health care clinics in the world. I know all the tricks, and the very woman I'm supposed to protect and to keep healthier, she should be on the highest priority patient list that I have, is literally burning out. And I see disease coming because I counsel with patients, all of you, all the time. And I went, oh my goodness. And I said, I got to do something different here. And then instantly I got this, you ever had that feeling where something's really, really wrong and you don't know what's wrong yet? I got that for a split second, and then I went, I've been teaching these makeovers for over a decade. And I've been teaching them to women who are going like this so fast in their life that they'll get here, they'll get excited, they'll get encouraged, and they'll go right back where? Right back to this, and all of those essentials, and all those secrets, and all those wonderful things that you agree you should do, and they work, and let's get excited, we'll lose weight, we'll get our hormones turned around, we'll get off medications. All of a sudden gets back to our life, and I go right back into my busy, and it bounces off of you. And I went, oh my goodness. And here's the thing. I wouldn't be devastated if my wife was diagnosed and passed away. I wouldn't be horrified. I would be ended. Does that make sense? My life, my family's life would be ended without my wife. It would be over. We couldn't do what we're doing. We couldn't achieve what we're achieving. My kids could not be raised in the manner that they're getting raised right now. Does everybody understand? And so when I felt that deep down in my heart, I was like, holy moly. What that means is the one person in your house, I don't care if you're a family of one, the one person that puts her needs last, the one person that makes sure that anything that health happens, they organize it. They kiss the boo-boos. They take care of everybody else's needs first. They don't ever get a sick day. That person that deserves more honor than anybody else gets the least. And so I said, listen, we've got to do a makeover for women. We've got to figure this thing out. Because if women go down, the whole world is gone. And in my mind, it really is that important. Can you see that? So we've got to do something different. Can you see why? Is everybody with me? Everybody tracking? Okay, so let's just the stats. Here's the forecast right now for cancer. 810,000 women will be diagnosed with cancer this year, and we're winning the war. Men, I didn't want to leave you out, 848,000, okay? Not that it's a contest, okay? But let's just talk about some of the solutions, okay? Is the health insurance industry, is it a solution? All right, so raise your hand if you have insurance. Raise your hand if you have insurance. And by law, I guess you have to have that hand raised now. Everybody that didn't raise your hand, there'll be a letter from the government soon. We're watching you. But now watch this. Now, if you just recently had a medical procedure other than just regular checkup and your health insurance did not cover all of it, I want you to raise your hand. Yeah, so half the room. Now let me tell you, the average household spends $16,800 a year on health insurance for just in case. And then when you have the case, it does not pay for it. Did you get that? So you don't have health insurance, you have sick insurance. And I'm not even saying don't have insurance. What I'm saying is it better be the reason that you have it is when something big happens. Does that make sense? But what could you do with $17,000 a year? Could you go to a gym? Could you eat better? Could you take better supplements? Could you get a life coach? Could you get a personal trainer? You see where I'm going with this, right? That's not a solution. Your sickness is a moneymaker. And listen, you may not think this, but 9 out of 10 pharmaceutical companies spend more on marketing than they do research and development. Pharma or big pharma or pharmaceutical companies, listen to me, look at my face. They profit from you being sick. They profit from you being sick. Now again, this whole talk is not about, poo-poo on pharmaceutical companies, but you better understand, next time that you go somewhere and the whole thing was paid for by pharmaceutical companies and you can't even enjoy a television show without every single thing being bombarded. Just one company spent 17.5, that's not million, that's $1 billion. Just last year alone in marketing. Do you see that? Right? Not research and development. And listen, I applaud you for being here. Guess what's happening right now that is actually marketing, right? Not research and development. What's happening this morning right now in Dallas? Race for the Cure. And listen, as soon as I say anything anti-pink, I have like arrows and I have like a red dot, like from a sniper right here or something. I think the greatest thing I can see is the human nature. Women are awesome. They love each other. They support one another. They go walk 100 miles. That's honorable. But I don't like any campaign that leads to more of the same and death of women, and I cannot support it. I almost wrestled a patient to the ground yesterday who wore a pink shirt with a pink ribbon on it into the office to get adjusted yesterday. And I went, and he goes, it's Friday. I just wanted to wear a T-shirt to work. He's a teacher, right? But here's the stats. And what you'll see there is 75% worsening of the situation by 2030. And that's not 100 years from now. That's how bad cancer has gotten. We're not winning the war, we're losing the war. And you're here today because you're going to be the seed for every single person around you to be the solution. So guess what the solution is? Every single person in the room, raise your hand. I want you to say, I'm the solution. No. Keep your hand up. I want you to say, I'm the solution. That's a little better. We're going to work on that. Now, listen, this is why we don't love the word. Do you think, now, here, let's raise the hand again. If you raise your right hand, I want you to raise your left hand. Raise your hand if you are aware that cancer is a problem, right? I don't need more awareness. We understand that it's a problem. We will not be putting pink ribbons or any other ribbons in our office. But it's not because we don't care. We want to be a part of this important conversation, but rather than being a part of it, I want to change the conversation. I want to change what we're talking about. I don't want early detection. I want to eliminate it, right? That's what we want to do, right? And really, all of it goes back to like less than 2% of the money they raise at the Race for the Cure will actually go to help anything to reduce cancer rates at all. It's all to actually fund what? Drug research, and that's only this much, and this much is what? Marketing, to actually get out and cause more of the same. And most of the talk, the conversation's about early what? Early detection. So if you're going to get early detection, let's just start with breast cancer. What does early detection entail? What do they want you to do? Mammograms. So let's just talk about mammograms and breast cancer. This is front page of Time magazine. Somebody had to say it, but it's a sad day in the world when the new frontier for breast cancer is not doing anything at all. That's the cutting edge, latest scientific discovery is not doing anything at all for your breast cancer. And guess what you find out? If no matter what cell type you have, if you let it go, don't do actually medical conventional treatment, you live 4 times longer than somebody that actually gets conventional treatment. Did you hear that? Don't believe me? Look it up on yourself. Google it. Find it. That is the absolute research after 25 years of combined data. Am I saying that's what I'm telling you to do? I'm not a cancer doctor. That's not what I said. I said do your own research, because guess who's the captain of your ship? Your doctor? No. You are, okay? But mammograms. Let's just talk about mammograms. 2/3 of you women got mammograms last year in the United States. 2/3 of women. So let's talk about it. Dr. Samuel Epstein, who is one of the world's top cancer doctors, says that the premenopausal breast is extremely and critically sensitive to ionizing radiation, which means X-rays. Yes? Does everybody know what I'm talking about? I'm going to get you up and start running soon. Yes. Thank you. I always count on my Richard. So watch. It's sensitive radiation. So what happens is when you get a mammogram, not only does it squeeze it hard, which can be very dangerous if you actually do have cancer, cause it to rupture, and it literally cause cancer to spread, but the ionizing radiation literally causes cancer. Now, to give you an idea, if you get who's had an X-ray of your bones to see if there was a fracture anytime in the last year or so? So you looked at an X-ray. What did you see? All you saw was what? Bone, and you saw black. And the reason for that is X-rays shoot through there so fast that it's not absorbed in the skin or the tissue very much, because it's just looking for bone. And the difference between densities of bone and just soft tissue is a lot, yes? So how could I actually see the breast? Well, the reason that can be there is because you have to literally soak and absorb massive amounts of radiation into the breast to get a difference between densities of tissue. To give you an idea, anybody have a chest X-ray to rule out if they had pneumonia, right? Or had a family member do that? So you're not looking for ribs, you're actually looking for the lung fields and then the vessels and the heart and all this rest to see if there's an issue. That's a chest X-ray. So you're using an X-ray to look at soft tissue. So do you think there's a higher dosage radiation for chest X-ray? Yes, so guess what? When you get a mammogram, it's literally 1,000 times the amount of radiation of a chest X-ray. 1,000. And it's so much radiation that every single mammogram you get increases your likelihood of breast cancer at very least 1%. And after the age of 40, the American Cancer Society says you need one every year. So let's fast forward 10 years. That means that you have now sealed your own fate for the very least increasing, no matter what other your lifestyle issues you had, increasing your likelihood of breast cancer by at least what? 10%. Now let's stop there. That's to say if mammograms were actually really, really good. Now, do 10 years of mammograms. Guess what the current research after 25 years of study is? If you get 10 years of mammograms, the likelihood that you'll have a false positive or a misdiagnosis is 58 to 77%. So there's up to a 77% chance that you're not even going to get the right reading. If I had a test that I was going to sell you today and there was a 77% chance that it's wrong, would you do it? Right, now, what does that mean? Last year alone, 2014, 1.3 million women were misdiagnosed and began treatment or procedures that inherently have their own risks, biopsies, mastectomies. Now, here's the thing. I had this conversation in the office the other day, and I had a patient that was very upset. She goes, well, listen, mammogram saved my sister's life. I can't believe you're talking like that. And she was upset, and can you see why she's upset? She's very emotional about it, right? She thinks that mammograms saved her sister. Now, I want you to think about this. If you had a woman in your life that, or you, got diagnosed either as victorious over or has passed away, I want you to raise your hand. Everybody raise your hand. Keep it up. Now, keep it down. Now, bring it down. Now, I want you to think about that person in your mind. Now, I'm not saying this is the case, but what if there was a chance that that woman went in, had a false positive, had issues done, radiation chemotherapy, and actually passed away for something that would have gone away on its own? I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm saying, what if there was a chance of that? Would you be upset? You should be upset. If 1.3 million women actually had that happen, I think you should be very upset. Now, what am I saying? Don't ever get a mammogram? Again, I'm not telling you what to do. I just want you to do your own homework. Do you see that? So what is an option? So I'm obviously saying it's not as good as you think it is. So is there another option for mammograms and breast imaging? Yes, there is. It's thermography, okay? Now, thermography covers a whole lot more than just breast. I mean, we have men do it in the office as well. I was sending at least a dozen of you off a month for thermography. And it's more expensive than a mammogram. It will tell you a whole lot more than a mammogram ever will. It'll tell you about your thyroid function, and it'll tell you, like if you'll look, it actually shows blood vessel proliferation and these things years before a mammogram will ever show any of those things. For case in point, everybody listen. So I had a lady come in. It was a patient. She has a sore and tender breast with a lump in it, and she's freaking out. Okay, actually, it was in the fall too, by the way, so she's really freaked out because there's all the marketing around it. Comes to us, what should we do? Well, let's do a thermography. Let's not do the ionizing radiation yet unless we have to go that direction. So we go in, we get a thermography done. It looks at everything. And we find that one spot right here, her tooth, she has a subacute infection. This tooth lighting up like a Christmas tree. She doesn't have any pain in her tooth, but she's got a bridge that's over that, has no idea there's infection there. And the infection is actually literally filling up the lymphatics all the way down and into the breast, and creating a subacute infection in her breast, which certainly could lead to cancer. But as soon as we found that, which she would have never even known it was there, went to the dentist, got it taken care of, had the tooth removed actually, and guess what happened to her breast? Completely healed up. Now, let's not talk about that. Let's not put that on the news, right? Because we've spent $3.7 million on a mobile mammogram unit, and we're going to give those away for free because we just have a good heart, right? What you see there is basically this. Most people do not give their health enough priority until when? Everybody say too late. Or till you're diagnosed. Say diagnosed. So now, if I diagnosed you with cancer today, you would finally get your act together with getting exercise, yes or no? You would finally get your act together with what to eat, yes or no? Right? You would finally do that? Well, every one of you have cancer. And I don't mean to speak evil over you or negative, but that's just the way things work. You have cancer today based on the fact you make billions of cells. God didn't miss something, and there's not a Holy Trinity emergency meeting going, oh, we forgot about the cancer cells. You have cancer cells all the time. Your body's amazing to take care of it, right? But what this proves is, and this research proves is, it takes at least 8 to 12 years before you'll have a cancer large enough to be medically diagnosed. So when should you do something about it? Right now. Now, the other thing I hate to, I have conversations constantly, is the fact that people are so bought into that, listen, my mom had a breast cancer. Anybody? Raise your hand if you've had anybody in your family have cancer, parents or grandparents. Uh-oh. Well, why don't you leave the room because there's nothing that we can do for you. No, that's not the case. So it's not your genetics. And this is, I would do a whole weekend just on genetics. I don't have the time today to do it, but let me prove something to you. Everybody, remember from school, remember the double helix, the double helix from DNA? We thought it was static, and it was a static situation where it actually puts you on a road health-wise that you can't turn off of. It is literally genetics. And it was immovable and immobile, and it was static. It was crystalline, if you will. But now there's a study of science that has proven literally without a shadow of a doubt that your genes are actually malleable. They're actually changeable. You actually do not have to have those genes used at all. In fact, they call that epigenetics, or above genes. And it means that your thoughts, your lifestyle, what you're exposed to, how you think, controls your genes. So guess what's in control? Say it. Say, I am. No. Say, I am. Say, I am. You are in control. Epigenetics, not genes. In fact, I just read a study It's a smaller study, but actually BRCA analysis. Remember, it was, Oprah about 5 years ago went nuts, had some lady on her show that had a BRCA analysis, and they were saying she was so brave. She actually got a positive BRCA analysis, and she had both breasts removed, didn't even have a lump in her breast, and they said, she's so brave, Listen, a BRCA analysis, BRCA 1 or 2, actually have now been shown to actually even prevent breast cancer. So if you actually went and had a double mastectomy preventatively, that is an irrational fear. And as soon as Oprah did that, nothing against Oprah, but literally they had clinics opening up to prophylactically remove breasts all over the country. And so I just disagree with it. Okay, so here's our hormone cancers. Say them with me. Breast, ovarian, uterine, prostate, thyroid, colon. Ladies, you don't have to worry about number 4. I'm going to go through cancer types. But here's the thing. I want to give some research. Who's ready for some cutting-edge research that you didn't know? Raise your hand. So here's some research. And I didn't know this till this week. Everybody say curcumin. Curcumin. Some of you guys were in the office yesterday. I couldn't hold my mouth. I was like, man, I just got to tell somebody this. There are 5,000 peer-reviewed study journal articles that actually prove that curcumin either cuts down, eliminates, or kills cancer. 5,000 studies, but it's not in discussion at all. In fact, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss it. Curcumin, okay, this is the 6 things that it does. Number 1, if you're taking notes, it reverses the tendency to express bad genes. So you may be doing things in your lifestyle that would generally express the bad genes that you have. Guess what? It reverses the tendency to do that. Number 2, promotes cancer cell death. So literally turns on the p53 gene within your gene system that causes your cells to die, and it does that in the cancer cells. So all the daughter cancer cells that are free-floating through your system you're making every day, it kills them. Who would like that? Right? So number 3, reduces the inflammatory cancer microenvironment. So literally the environment, when a tissue cell has now popped up, and it's literally not a free-floating cancer, it is now more of a tumor cell cancer. Those are the ones that you need to worry about, right? It's taken seed somewhere. The microenvironment of inflammation that's going to allow that thing to start really being a problem for you, literally, it decreases that and it gives it an environment where it cannot grow. Is that a good thing? Right? How about this? Blocks estrogen-mimicking compounds. Why is that important? I talked about hormone cancers. The reason that hormone cancers are extremely important is because hormone cancers are caused, everybody say progesterone. Come on, say progesterone. Progesterone and estrogen. Say estrogen. When you have, and there's a lot of different variations and balances, but progesterone, estrogen imbalances, and you have this estrogen skyrocketing over here because you've got all these chemicals that mimic estrogen, you basically lend yourself to where you're basically getting kicked off into cancers of all types. That's how this happens in hormone cancers. And these compounds are literally blocked by curcumin. Number 5, stops angiogenesis, which is just a big word to say that your cancer can grow new blood cells, so it has a highway to every other part of your body, okay, and it gets fed. And then 6, increases immunity, so CD4 cells, T helper cells, B-type lymphocytes, immune cells, all these increased when literally curcumin even touched the lining of your digestive tract. And then best of all, watch this, something that chemotherapy can never do, curcumin actually targets cancer stem cells, right? The reason that conventional cancer treatments don't work is because they don't do anything for the cancer stem cells. And even if you did kill all the cancer, now the stem cell is even more virulent, and like a fire hose, it's literally spraying cancer daughter cells all through your body after that, which is why most cancer patients don't live past 5 years. Does that make sense? I read this article, and what do you think I'm going to make sure my wife and kids are taking every day from now on? Curcumin. I didn't really understand this product. I told you we're going to take the absolute world's greatest supplements. I'm going to show you what it's like. But I didn't understand this product until I started reading this literature. I went through it, and not only does this have curcumin in it, but it's got C3 complex, which has Indian gooseberry and melon extract, which both have anti-cancer and antioxidant values to it. So this is something, this is the first year product. So on your keychain for today, to be a cancer killer, to make sure you never get it, this is one of your keys. Got it? So you want to write this down. Your curcumin supplement, which is Daily Defense, okay? It's got the C3 in it, which is why we have a product that's just, you can't get it. Make sense? Curcumin. Okay. Vitamin D3. Raise your hand if you've heard something good about vitamin D3. It's like this fad drug now, but I want you to see this. There's a video that says that within a few days of being introduced to cancer, or to vitamin D3, that cancer cells, half of them just die off. And I want you to see this video from ABC News and Good Morning America.
And now the new study linking vitamin D and cancer in a way we've never heard before. Doctors know that low levels of the vitamin can lead to a host of illnesses, but now research suggests that vitamin D might actually hold the key to fighting cancer. John McKenzie has a story.
The studies just keep coming, the evidence mounting. Low levels of vitamin D are now linked to so many illnesses, from breast, colon, and prostate cancers, type 1 diabetes and asthma, to multiple sclerosis and heart disease.
I even think of vitamin D as the fountain of youth, if you will, in that it allows us to age well.
At least that's the hope. And nowhere is the evidence more compelling than here in the laboratory.
So all the work here is on vitamin D?
Yes, we've got
Professor Joellen Welsh has spent the last 25 years studying the powerful effect of vitamin D on cells.
These are human breast cancer cells growing in the flask.
Taken from a woman who had breast cancer?
Yes.
Now watch what happens when you add a potent form of vitamin D. Within just 4 days, half those cancer cells are dead.
It looks like the cancer cells have basically shriveled up and died.
The longer they're treated with vitamin D, the more of an effect we see. What happens is that vitamin D enters the cells and it triggers this cell death process. It's similar to what we see when we treat cells with tamoxifen.
A drug used to treat breast cancer?
Yes.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. It's a very dramatic effect.
That was just the beginning. Researchers here then took human breast cancer cells and injected them into mice. Tumors quickly began to grow, but when the mice were treated with vitamin D, the tumors began to shrink. Look, this one was reduced to half its size. The one here disappeared entirely. Similar results have been seen on colon and prostate tumors in mice. The real test, however, remains. Will vitamin D work this way in people? Other lab work is revealing how vitamin D can actually improve the way cells function in the heart and in blood vessels.
And the number one killer is vascular disease, and vitamin D makes our arteries more healthy, basically, allows them to age well.
Preliminary, tantalizing research on a common nutrient with so much potential. For Good Morning America, John McKenzie, ABC News, Albany, New York.
Did everybody get that? When I first saw that, I went, first of all, that it was on a major news deal, and they compared it to a cancer drug, and actually the research shows that it's actually better than tamoxifen, and of course they didn't say that, but it was pretty cool they said it. Now here's the problem. Everybody knows they should take it, but 100% of the people tested, even if you're taking it, are actually low. And this is the actual chart. This red line right here, this red line is where your doctor said you should be, and these are all the cancers and diseases that vitamin D through research knows that it prevents, and then this is the percentage of people. So when it's at this level, it prevents 30% of breast cancer. When it's over here at 51, it prevents 83% of people having breast cancer, and this is where your doctor said you should be, at 25. So the only thing that you'll actually keep from happening at the level that your doctor says you should be at is rickets. Okay, which, anybody having rickets lately? But the point is, the problem is you really just can't get your vitamin D3 level up. And I've tried literally a decade once I realized it was that important. Vitamin D therapies and IV, different products, liquid products, all the rest. And the only way that I've seen to be able to get it up is actually having the right vitamin D source and having a probiotic with it. And it's the right kind of probiotic and the right ratio of probiotic. And then it has this crazy exponential response in your body. I've had half a dozen of you come to me in the last week and said, my vitamin D level's in the 60s, 70s, or 80s, and my medical doctor thinks it's too high. And what did I say? Hallelujah! Amen. Keep it up. So I just want to make sure that you're actually starting with a vitamin D. Listen, some of you guys, well, I'm already taking a vitamin D3. Well, listen, I tried everything. And this is one of the cheapest vitamins that we have. I think it's the one of the most important. And I don't care if it's cheaper or more expensive than the one you have. The most expensive product you could possibly buy is one that doesn't work. You got it? And the most inexpensive one that you could have is one that keeps you from having cancer. Would you agree? Right? So make sure you get this as part of the cancer bundle as well. Back to here. I don't know what's going on with the slides. Osteoporosis. So let me go through this quickly. I want you to know something about osteoporosis. Not because I want you to save you from osteoporosis and the tricks and how. I'm going to tell you something. Osteoporosis is a scam. It's a scam. It's very, very seldom that women actually do have brittle bones. I didn't say they had less dense bones, to have brittle bones. Now, if you actually are so sick that you have brittle bones, you've probably taken a bunch of drugs for so long that you're so unhealthy that your bones can break. But here's the problem. This is what happened. There was a company that made Fosamax, and they were about to lose their patent. I don't want to make a long story long, but I got to give you the background. What happened is they were about to lose their patent, and they said, listen, how do we actually get so many more people to take our drug that we actually don't lose money, we can make more money? So they actually went to a marketing firm, and they said, how do we do this? And this guy came up with a plan, and he says, we have to create a disease before osteoporosis so that everybody will, quote, take it to prevent it. And they said, okay, how do we do that? Because at the time, you actually had to go to a hospital or a major clinic to get your bone density checked because it was a huge x-ray machine. And so they had billions of dollars. They just came up with a whole new machine. They created a portable densitometer. And so they created just for this one marketing purpose. So they said, so we're going to go out and we're going to give these away. They gave them to clinics, they gave them to hospitals, they gave them to everybody so they could test every single woman, right? They spent all that money because they were going to make money. Did you get that? And then here's the first myth. You thought there was good science behind the scales, right? Because if you're 1 to 2.5 T-score or standard deviation, then you're osteopenia. And if you're over 2.5, then you have osteoporosis. But guess what? You think that's based on some kind of science? It's not. They literally had a bunch of doctors and marketing specialists sitting around a table, and they got tired of talking about it. One guy stood up and said, let's just make it this. Let's go out and have some lunch. That's how they got the number. Osteopenia had never existed on the face of planet Earth before a marketing company came and invented it. And now the reason I'm upset about it is because I have women who should be out exercising and doing great physical activity, but now they've gotten a bone density scan and they've been talked into the fact that their bones are getting weak, they should be careful, and they're stopping exercising and lifting heavy stuff and going and doing amazing, wonderful stuff that would be the thing to keep their bones healthy. And here's the second myth, that when your bones decrease density, that you're more likely to have a fracture. Now, here's the other thing that they did that was really crazy. They said, okay, how do we market this? Let's take a woman when they have the most dense bones, and that's the age of 30. So at the age of 30, you have the most dense bones, and we're going to compare every single woman to that. And if they're not that, we'll say they're pathological, right? Should your bones get more porous as you age, yes or no? Yes, they should. Are you more likely to have fractures if there's more porous bone? No. Your bones can be just as strong and be more porous. I didn't say brittle, I said more porous. Does it make sense? So do I think you should go get a bone densitometry? That's not my decision. I want to make sure that you make your decision, but I bet you didn't know all that, yes or no? And so when you look at all the statistics or the risks and causes, you can look at them. The first one is vitamin what? Vitamin D. And the last one that causes that is actually the medications that you've been taking, everything from headaches to whatever. But look at this. Get rid of the words on the page and just look at the lady. What's wrong with that picture? She is like this, not because of osteoporosis. She has osteoporosis because she's like this, right? She needs a chiropractor. Can I get an amen somewhere, right? So, anyway, how about heart disease? Listen, if you want to talk about something that's going to really take a lot of lives of women, actually heart disease takes the cake. It is the number one disease killer of women, and it will absolutely eradicate many of our cherished and honored women today. And listen, there's not a walk for it. Do you guys see that? There's red ribbons. They do have their own marketing campaign, but you don't see it anywhere. And what causes heart disease? Is it cholesterol? No. Is it high blood pressure? No. Is it genetics? No, it's not genetics. What is it? Actually, it's inflammation. I have a lot of people say it's cholesterol. It's not cholesterol. Cholesterol, what happens is people actually have somebody that dies of a heart attack. They open their arteries up and they see all this cholesterol inside and they go, well, look, that killed another woman. That's like looking outside and seeing a bird dead on the sidewalk with maggots on it going, man, those maggots killed another bird. We look at something and we think that we know something about it and we infer about it, but we don't know the whole picture. How about this? How about somebody that has heart disease is just more prone to actually having the artery walls more coated with cholesterol? But let's not jump to conclusions that the cholesterol caused the heart disease. Does it make sense? Because actually what we find is the more your cholesterol goes down on medications, the more heart attacks that you have. Did you know that? More women die with normal and low cholesterol than high cholesterol. How about that? So what causes it? Inflammation. Here's the risk factors right here, but all the risk factors are basically either the things that cause inflammation or the things that are caused by inflammation. And I think the greatest example I can give to you is my mom. My mom, who I brag about all the time, everybody here has heard me brag about my mom. My mom is a great example of this. She had a lot of inflammation. She had a lot of problems with her hands, knees, hips, these things. And she literally called me one day and she's like, I got to do something. And I said, well, Mom, you're 4.5 hours away. I can give you as much adjustments as I can. But I said, this is what you can do. I'm going to give you my advanced plan diet. And every single here is going to give that. Guest, I'm going to give that to you today. So by the time I'm done after break, you will know exactly what I'm talking about to do exactly what my mom did. But she did the advanced plan and literally completely changed her life. So I thought I'd have her. Anybody want to meet my mom? Anybody want to meet my mama? Does anybody want to meet my mama? Okay, so come here. So I'm a little bit proud of her. There we go. Yeah, I told her, I said, Mom, don't jump. Don't jump on the stage. All right, so here's my mom, Maydeen Herb, everybody. I love her. So tell us, so what were you dealing with when you called? So you were talking about your hands. You were.
I've always been pretty healthy, but all of a sudden I felt something in the joints here, and it was bothering me. And I was shocked because I hadn't overused, I didn't think. But I'm a paper folder and a storyteller.
Okay, stop. I'm sorry to interrupt you. She's a master origamiist who flies all over the world and teaches people origami. She doesn't say that. She said, I'm a paper folder. She doesn't like fold paper airplanes. So, anyway, she couldn't do that. She was actually going to bed at night with her hands here, with her hands pulsating with inflammation and hurting. So you called me, you started doing the diet, right?
Yes.
And then what happened?
I went off of Coke in particular because I really had a thing about Coke. And that was in June 26, 2011, because I know that I still would like Coke, but after what it did by me getting off of the sugar, there's no way I'll ever go back to it.
Yeah, so it wasn't just the Coke, it was the diet that we're going to talk about later today. But she got off of that, and then you called me, I think it was a couple weeks later. What happened?
Actually, it was a few more weeks than that.
It's like a month.
Are you talking about, yeah, you're talking about the...
Well, your hands were better. And you go,
right,
David, this
hands.
works.
I found myself, you know how when you feel good, you don't think about it. When you feel bad, you think about it. I laid down one night and I thought, my hands don't hurt. I don't think about it when I'm folding paper. And so that was a
But then you
big
called me
shock.
at the end of a month, and what did you say?
Yes, well, about 6 to 8 weeks later, actually, and I said, David, I didn't realize I was going to lose weight.
I forgot to tell her that part. I honestly didn't even tell her she was going to lose weight. But how much weight have you lost since you started?
I weighed about 149, 50 by the time, and now I'm at 129, 130.
Listen, wait. Let's applause for her. I want to make sure I go on record. I didn't ask her what she weighed on stage in front of all you people. I said, how much did she lose? So I'm not going to get in trouble for that later. You brought that up.
And he didn't tell my age, but...
Yeah. Well, she's doing good for 40. She's doing great.
But you don't leave out the part about the bread.
Okay, Mom, you're going to totally bust my bubble. I have to make them really want this first.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna talk about bread after the break, and we're not having bread at the break, so it's okay. But actually, last night she goes, I just use bread as a napkin now. I said, you can't say that. People don't have enough discipline. They'll go like, oh, like this. And so anyway, so there's something recently she started doing. She started doing 5K runs, and now I get a selfie every Saturday before and after the race with her like this. Like this. And she just hit a milestone.
My time.
And her time, yeah, I get her time too because it always gets better. And she wins first place and a gold medal and a T-shirt every single time. And it started out was because she was the only person in her age group. Actually, a couple months ago, somebody beat her, was a little bit faster, and she was like, oh, no, you didn't. She went into Rocky training. Sorry, you did. That's what you did. But then she just hit a milestone recently. It was all the things that are on your bedpost. What was it?
Oh, I just got my 100th medal.
100th medal. Awesome. So give her a big hand. Thanks, Mom. Love you. Mwah. Good. So my mom my mom also just signed up for her half marathon, and she just completed her second duathlon. And so she's 42. She said it. She said she's 72. So who would like that at 72? You guys got that? That's what, listen, I'm going to go through a couple more things. I'm going to go through the number one secret, the number one test that you need, and then we're going to go for a break. I'm going to give you guys the greatest lunch you've ever had. We're going to have lots of cool stuff, but I'm going to go through this right now. So this is chia seed pudding. I got a team that's bringing that in. This is going to help you be able to stay on this. So I'm just going to keep talking as they bring it out. Who here ever has a chocolate craving? Are you serious? Raise your hand We are in a church. Thank you. Yeah, raise both of your hands. So this is going to help you get through that. And it literally, I made 400 portions of this, and I made it in less than 12 minutes. All right, so you can make your portions in 12 minutes just fine for your family, okay? And there's also a recipe you'll have for this. Let's start with this. Now, they're going to hand this out, so you guys just get this at your leisure. Start trying that. You're going to love it. But let me say this. That should surprise you. Does that surprise you? Sitting causes cancer. I dare you to Google it. You'll see all the research. It says that sitting right now statistically is more unhealthy for you than smoking. I'm not saying go smoke instead of sit. I'm saying it is worse for you than smoking is. And right now what it says is if you're sitting at your job, it increases your likelihood of cancer from 32% up to 68% increased risk of cancer. Did you get that? What kind of cancers? Uterine and colon cancer, primarily. Let's talk about why those cancers. When you sit all day, you put all the pressure where? On your low back. And your nerve supply, which controls everything, if I cut the nerves going to those organs, what happens to them right now? They die right now. Now, if I put a little bit of pressure, now how do they die? They die slowly. 12 different Nobel Prize-winning researchers prove it. So if I sit all day, I ruin this. And our bodies are made to move. Does that make sense? You are made to move. You have to move. So the problem really is subluxation. Everybody in the room say subluxation. Subluxation is the problem. If your spine is subluxated, which means that you have a shift, a rotation of either one or more vertebrae that put pressure on either the spinal cord or the nerve roots that affect your body's function and develop disease, that is subluxation. And listen to me, I take this as serious as heart disease or cancer because it causes it, okay? Now, this is the problem, okay? But where do you get it? Now, I got some people I want to bring up. They're going to give me examples. Can I have my example girls? Hello, my example girls. Come on up. So what I want you to see is how this happens. Who here wears high heels ever? Come on, ladies, you gotta rush it up. Snap two. Good. I know who to target when we get to back to the office. So high heels. I'm going to have them show you. They're going to come out. Who carries a purse? Anybody carry a purse? Who here carries a heavy purse? Who here thinks you have the heaviest purse in the room? Come on. Good. Oh, good. Well, let's do this. Can I have your purse? I'm not going to go through your purse. I just want your purse. Come here. Bring it up here. Come on. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Ooh, you got a nice purse. I went purse shopping for my wife recently. I don't know. Do they make like purses out of like virgin seal hair or something? Like they're crazy expensive. Okay, so here's my daughter, by the way, which that's crazy to see my little baby in heels like that. Don't you look. Don't look. But what happens is, now turn sideways so everybody can see you. What happens is if you put a woman in heels, they come up like this. And what happens is their posterior gets out. They get a little more J-Lo. Does everybody know what I mean by that? A little J-Lo? So I increase the curve in their low back, which puts more pressure where? Right here. Also, when you put more pressure on the low back, the chest comes up. So although I know men in society kind of like a perky butt and chest up high, what happens is it creates a straight neck and a head forward posture. You guys with me? So now, just by the research in the structure that I just created for you, by what those heels do, I literally put pressure here, I put pressure here, and I put pressure here on the nerve supply. And so I can definitively, without a shadow of doubt, tell you that wearing heels causes all the nerves and the organs that go to this to be affected. So increases fertility issues, reproductive issues, digestive issues. This is lung issues, immunity, allergies, also breast health, right, from this part of the spine right here. But now watch this. Turn around this way. Now, if I weight this side, so you can have she doesn't carry a purse, so she didn't have a high shoulder, so you almost can't see it. But if I take a purse, and you were right, this may be the heaviest purse in the room. So here, and I put that on a shoulder like this, okay? Now she's kind of leaning a little bit, but what happens is if I let her do this for days and weeks on end, she's going to develop what? Holding this. Now stay right there. Maybe not that extreme, like that. Good. So at the break, in just a minute, I want you guys to look at your buddies and stuff that you came in with, and what you'll see is, you'll see a high shoulder, okay? And which shoulder is high? The one that's carrying the purse or the one that's not carrying the purse? The one that's high is the one carrying the purse, which is why you can't switch sides, Because if you switch sides and go to the other side that you'd never carry your purse on, what happens to your purse? Why does it slide off? Because it's pathological. Because you've actually messed your spine up. That's not a joke. Now watch this. So if I create a high shoulder like this and an angle right here, what have I just done to the nerves going to her breast and her heart and her lungs? Do you see that? I'm literally, before I die, I'm going to do a research study on breast cancer and high shoulders created by purses and bags, because it's 100%. I've never seen a breast cancer patient ever that did not have a high shoulder head shift that actually puts pressure on this. Did you understand what I'm saying? 100% of the time. That's why, listen, you need to either not carry a purse or do what? Switch shoulders, okay? Next time it falls off your shoulder because you put it on the, quote, wrong shoulder, put it back up there and hold the thing up and say it's better than chemotherapy. Got it? Okay, good. Thank you. Can you give this to her right there? Right there. Thank you, Kadra. Now, let's do this. Backpacks. Who has a kid, or who, you or your kids wear a backpack? Raise your hand. Good? Good. So turn this way. Backpacks. What's wrong with this position? First of all, it's too low. Do you see this? What it's done is it's created her to lean forward at the waist like this. Do you see that? Now, even if she straightens it out, so now switch that thing up. So pull it. Good. If it's too heavy, now, where's her head? It's forward. Do you see that? We do backpack safety awareness for the school systems. We do that for free. So if you guys are part of a school system, please let us know. We'd love to come help out. We're going to teach every single parent and every single educator, because this right here, if I take any child and put them in and listen, do you not see kids doing this? Right? And now, but watch this. You take this, go right into their lungs and right into their immune systems, and they have allergies, and they have breathing, they have asthma, right? Listen, guess how many children with asthma I've seen in my office in 18 years that still have asthma? 0. We find the cause of it, we remove it, right? But now watch this. If this girl is wearing a backpack and now it's caused a spinal misalignment that's caused her to have allergies, what do most parents do for a child with allergies? Give them what? Allergy medication. Allergy medications are known absolutely to cause ADHD symptoms and brain changes. So now she's not being able to focus in school. So now the school nurse says, listen, she's not focused in school. You need to do something about it. So what do they tell her to do? Go take what? ADHD medication. 85% of children who are on ADHD medication will be on antidepressants the rest of their life. 85%. Does that make sense? All starting with what? Backpack. Okay, thank you so much. Can I give applause for my girls? Good. So, with that said, let me say this. Subluxation and posture. Does everybody see how that happens? So you end up this is 9 out of 10 women will do this. Okay? And as a result of the kyphosis in their back and the increase in low back curvature like this, now which one's healthier, right or left? You can see it. Can you see how this person would have fibromyalgia? Can you see how this person would be tired all the time? Could you see how she could probably have female reproductive issues or acid reflux, maybe some breathing difficulty? Can you see that? Does everybody really see that? That's revelational for you. I want to make sure that you get that. And here's the other thing. What if she could correct that, go to here? Would she stay healthy or healthier? Just go with that. They did a study. They did a study on people 65 years or older who were under chiropractic care, not for back pain chiropractic care, just to maintain the health, to correct their spine and maintain it. And what they found, hundreds and hundreds of people, what they found was this. Check this out. They spent 70% less on their health care. 69. If every family in the United States spent 70% less on their health care, would we have a socioeconomic problem? You wouldn't even care who got elected in November. Wouldn't care. 50% reduction in doctor's visits. Raise your hand if you'd like to go to the doctor 50% less. Other than me. Sorry about that. Sorry. I didn't feel the love for a second. There's something you don't see on there is that there's an 85% reduction in pharmaceutical use, right? If I decreased the sales of pharmaceuticals 85%, what would we do with the pharmaceutical companies? Hallelujah, put them out of business. Somebody clap for that. Okay, now, let me do this. But this is the Davis family, okay? I'm going to introduce you here in a second. But what I found was I cannot change the world doing events like this. There was a time I was on TV to 90 million homes once a month. For months and months, radio shows. I'd fly around the world, go to different countries and speak. We've done a lot of cool stuff, but the world hasn't changed. And I realized one thing, and I'm going to keep doing all that. But the reason, what I found was, the way that you change the world is through one individual and one individual family at a time. What happens is if I can create somebody who thinks different, who has truth, has an understanding of how their body works, they're not going to get caught off guard and get talked into a bunch of craziness. And I drop you into the conversation at the office. I drop you into the conversation at church. I drop you into the conversation at the barbecue with all your friends or whatever else. And guess what happens? The whole conversation begins to change. Dr. David doesn't have to be there. Does it make sense? Right? And so that's what happened. The Davis family came in. This is mom and this is daughter, right? So this is Maria and this is Lexi. They came into the office just like you guys, but they were relatively healthy. They were just getting checked. She had some headaches. Lexi had some other issues, but relatively healthy. They went to the pediatrician. They said that Lexi's completely healthy, doing great, getting great grades in school and doing well. But comes in and we literally found subluxation choking and strangling the life out of both of them, and they didn't even know it. Like a lot of you guests here today. So they came in, and we weren't just going to crack their neck. We literally went through a corrective program to take the pressure off their nerve supply. And guess what happened to their body's ability to function? Guess what happened to it? It increased. And so they ended up getting healthy. And so Lexi went from here to here. Is that amazing? Right? I don't have an after picture of mom, but I have my Davis family right here. Girls, stand up for me. Can I get a round of applause for my Davis family? There's the after picture right there. So just so you guys know, I could do that with a lot of families that are here today. You're the family that I'm trying to create. You're the family I'm trying to create. Because when you go somewhere, the conversation changes because you drop a hope bomb in the middle of it. And that's exactly what it takes. And listen, as much as I want you to get results for you, why do I want you to get results? I want you to get results because I want people to go, whoa, what the heck is going on there, right? So that you're different. Does it make sense? So big round of applause for them today. Thank you guys for being here today. So here's what has to happen. You have to find the warning signs. There are absolute warning signs that you have subluxation, but most of you guys have them and you don't even know that you have them. Guests here, what are the warning signs? Real common things like headaches, digestive issues, constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux, joint pain, like your feet hurt, right? Like when you get out of bed in the morning, you're really stiff and you're hurting. Fatigue or sleeplessness, are you having trouble with sleeping? All these things that may be common, seem like it's very simple. Guess what? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Most of the time, there's an underlying problem, and that's just a symptom that's kind of coming out of the water like an iceberg. Does it make sense? There's a lot underneath. And when you have that, what you have to understand, by the time that you have a symptom, you have to lose 40% function in a tissue, cell, or organ. Based on Journal 99, Journal of Neurology, you have to lose 40% function in a tissue, cell, or organ before you'll ever feel it. Which means if you have any of these common symptoms or signs, that means that you are already well on your way to having a diagnosis, but you thought it was just headaches. And you know how I can tell that the headaches are serious? Do you know what the United States government says about headaches? That headaches, if you have 3 a week, causes you to have a risk factor of 300% more likely to die of a stroke. And yet you guys go, no, it's no big deal, just take a Tylenol. What about allergies? What about stomach problems? That's the symptom. So if you have any of those symptoms, guess what you absolutely need to do today? Get checked for what? Subluxation. Say that word, subluxation. Okay? So like I said, listen, and thank God for MRIs, CTs, and blood tests and medical tests. Thank God for those things. But by the time that they find that, you are already into it. I don't want early detection for my family, my wife, my beautiful wife. I don't want her to detect cancer early because now she has what? Cancer. I don't want her to get cancer or my children to get cancer. Are you with me? And we can do better, and you deserve better. But there's the 5 essentials. If you're a guest, that's what we teach in Maximize Living, the 5 essentials. And I can tell you, those are the protocols, and all the protocols fit within those. We're going to be walking through that 30-day challenge, those 4-week challenge for all of you guys. As guests, as you come in, we're going to start walking through them, making a game plan individualistic for you, which is your armamentarium to get health back where you've lost it. So be excited for that. But as we start here, there's a real problem here, and I want to talk about it in a different way. Okay, so we're going to start with stress. That's the real problem. Everybody say stress. No, say stress. Stress. All right, so I've got a tiger at my home. I really don't. But let's say I've got a tiger at home. She and I are going to go vacation with the kids, and I need you to take care of my tiger. Would you do that? She's looking at me. She's going, I love you, but I would never take care of a tiger. So let's say that you agree to do that because you love me, and you're like, oh, he's like family. And so you're going to take this tiger that eats like 100 pounds of meat a day, and you're going to live with it in your house, okay? Got it? Doesn't have a cage. He won't bite you probably. He's going to be fine. So she's going to live with this man-eating tiger in her house, okay? Now she's going to walk around to the kitchen, and just any second this thing's going to be out anywhere in her house, okay? Now, would she have a fight or flight response, do you think? Yes. Oh, yeah. She's going to have we call that a sympathetic response. So if you have a fight or flight response because you're living with a tiger, what happens to her blood pressure? Goes up or down? Go up. What happens to her heart rate? Goes up or down? Up. Do you think she actually gives off stress hormones that mobilize blood sugar so it gives her where she can dart and fight or run or whatever else? Do you think it would do that? Yeah, so it's mobilizing, it's keeping your blood sugar high all the time. Keep that in mind. Blood sugar is high all the time. Would it take all the blood that it's using to digest food and divert it into her muscles of her legs and arms so she can run or fight? Do you think it'd do that too? Would it change her brain patterns and how she's thinking, possibly? Right? So she's more focused, and she can't do multiple things. She's more linear like this. Would you think that? So now watch this. She's going to have somebody come to her house to do an exam on her. She's going to get insurance changed. You know how they come to your house and do that insurance exam? So she's going to get that done. But she doesn't tell anybody there's a tiger there, because I told you if they tell him, they're probably going to take him. So she's like this, looking over her shoulder the whole time, like this, getting her exam. Are they going to find that her blood pressure's high? You think her blood work is going to look normal? It's going to look pretty bad? Blood pressure? Yeah. Now, whoever did that exam is going to take that to the doctor, and what's the doctor going to say about her? Ooh, high blood pressure. Doesn't look good. Heart rate's real high too, kind of thready actually. Something else going on there. Blood sugar, kind of weird. It's up, down, it's all over the place. She's in fatigue syndrome, all this, maybe this other stuff going on. She's breaking down muscle tissue, right? All this stuff, right? So what's the doctor going to say? She's healthy or sick? So what's he going to try and do for her blood pressure? Give her medication. What about blood sugar? Yeah, so now watch this. Should she take the medication? What should she do? Get rid of the tiger, right? Guess what your tiger is? Job pressure, medical expenses, health crisis, relationships, poor nutrition, media overload, sleep deprivation, and the list goes on and on. Add yours here like this, like a little hamster on the wheel waiting to catch your toe, and then up all on, then you're gone. Got it? That happens to women all over the world every single day. What do you have to handle? You have to handle the tiger. Say it, tiger. Say tiger. You have to handle the tiger. I know that sounds so remedial, but isn't that just simple? You have a tiger, and you have to kill it. Now we won't be so nice to my pet. Kill it. You don't want to manage the tiger. You want to kill it. Don't live with it anymore, right? I can tell you most of every single woman in here that has to deal with chronic degenerative illness is dealing with it because there's a tiger living with you. Don't look at your husband. I'm talking about their stress. I'm talking about your stress level. Here's the expectation. Women are like, you know what? I'm going to be sexy. I'm going to have this little baby. It's like a teddy bear. I'm going to be in the workplace. It's going to be great. And the reality ends up that I am tired. I had no idea what I was in for having kids. I wouldn't have had them. Sorry. Actually, I'm going to throw my mom under the bus because I'm a twin. And so she said we never pooped at the same time, peed at the same time, ate at the same time. She said by the time you were 3, I almost died. And so, but she goes, I just didn't answer the door anymore. So the point is, stress is the bane of our health, not just our society. And women, you wear it more. Listen, I could take any woman in here, and if I put you in any man's body, you go, oh my God, it's vacation. So stress has to be dealt with. Now let's just talk about some bad thought process. First one, I have bad genes, but the truth is it's not your genes, it's your lifestyle. Second one, I tried in the past, it didn't work. What didn't work? Well, you didn't have this first. In fact, you probably actually have tried a lot of the things other than some of the high-level stuff that's going to be new for you today, like diet and exercise, and it didn't work yet. You didn't reverse your diabetes, you didn't lose weight, you didn't have those things, but you know what was happening? You probably had a subluxation pattern that has never been taken care of. It was choking off, strangulating your nerve supply. Your body couldn't function. And even if you did exercise and eat right, you couldn't get healthy. Does that make sense? So it is going to work this time. I am just that. I am this disease. So people go, my diabetes. I hate it when you have an ownership of my cancer, my diabetes, my high blood pressure. Don't own it. You may have the symptoms, but don't own it. Okay? The truth is you don't have it. I don't have the time to be healthy. No, you don't have the time not to be healthy. I have people say, listen, everything else comes first. You deserve this. Everybody say, I deserve this. Okay, men, we say that easily, a lot easier than the women do. Women, just women, say, I deserve this. You do deserve this. And what happens is people don't take the time, but guess what? I had a lady that did not get under care, did not take care of herself, went a year and a half later. Now she spends 3.5 hours, 3 days a week getting chemotherapy and cancer treatment. She has plenty of time now. Take the time. You have plenty of time. You just got to make the time. I don't have the money to invest in my health. Oh, yeah, you do. You'll find it when the time comes. So find it now and be a sliver and a percentage of that. Got it? You have the money. My health is too far gone. I hear this a lot. Maybe if I started this, years ago, it'd be better. No, listen, it's right now. There's no testimony without what? Without a test. You have been in the test. It's time to get the testimony. There are other things that are more important than my health right now. No, there's not. There's not. And listen, I don't know your situation. I know somebody here is taking care of a family member or a parent or a sibling, somebody that's hurting or suffering that needs you, a child with special needs, somebody that has a cancer right now. You're something really important. I guarantee it. There's people in here, you're listening to me, goes, well, he doesn't know my situation. I don't know your situation, but I've counseled many people in similar situations. I guarantee it. I've seen 25,000 people. I'll guarantee that. And there is nothing more important than your health, because the one reason that you say that you don't have the time or there's other things more important, if you go down, what happens to that important thing? It's gone too. You are the most important thing. Got it? So, got to get the mindset right first. Stress and drugs. You knew I was going to bring it up. I had to. Right now, I talked to one of our patients is the head of the nutrition, the vitamins at Sprouts. And she came in, and I was talking about this with her one day. She goes, do you know what the number one question I get is from women is, do you have any supplements for what? Stress, depression, anxiety. That's the number one thing to ask for. And so it's no wonder that right now, 1 in 4 women in the United States are actually on an antidepressant. 1 in 4. Are you kidding me right now? And watch this. If you take an antidepressant, it messes up your hormones. I'm about to get to hormones right now. It messes up your hormones. And so if you take an antidepressant within 2 years, there's an 84% chance that you will have diabetes. Did you know that? If you take an antidepressant, you're 10 times more likely to be diagnosed with breast cancer. Did you know that? Because it messes up your hormones, and breast cancer is a hormone cancer, right? Also, if you take an antidepressant, it's a 100% chance. Journal of Psychology, just recently, 21-page article says it's 100% that if you take it long enough that you will have Parkinson's because it destroys basal ganglia, right? Most people don't know that. And it's hard to get off of those. It is. I'm telling you, there's freedom in that. There's real freedom in that. I can tell you, we've seen 9 out of 10 people get off those medications in the office through working with their doctor and the things that we do. And I can tell you, there is freedom. And you can, even if you've tried it before. So we need to do something different. Stress and adrenal fatigue. Here we go. You ready for this? I got so excited. Say adrenal. Adrenal. Adrenal is that little thing on top of your kidneys that it's the fight or flight. Like if I went, boo, real quick like this and jumped and you went, your adrenals would like squeeze down like this and you have all these hormones come out and you have this kind of rush and the bristly of that's adrenals, right? Adrenals keep you going. Adrenals get going. The problem with it is adrenals get squashed. And what are some signs of adrenal insufficiency? So adrenal symptoms, what are those? Anybody here get up in the morning and you wish you just had another 15 to 20, 30, an hour? Anybody? Can I get some of those? Thank you. The honest people in the house. And listen, all of us have some, but that's the first sign. Who has sugar cravings ever? Ever? Hi, my name is David. Good, I have sugar cravings, okay? Who here does caffeine or energy drinks to keep up going into the day? Yeah, and I've done that, right? I've been part of that, and it's a vicious circle. Weight loss resistance is another adrenal fatigue. There's a lot of things, but these are really classic symptoms of adrenal fatigue. But the reason it's important here is, I'm going to give you this. Ready for this? I'm going to blow your mind. Ready? A healthy woman should never go through menopause. How dare him say that? I can say that. You know how I can say that? Because it's true. I'm not saying you should continue your cycle. You will stop your cycle, but a healthy woman should never go through menopause. And when I'm saying, I'm talking about dryness, skin thinning hair, weight loss resistance, gaining weight, fatigue, lethargy, decreased drive, decreased libido, all these things that go with, quote, hot flashes, the menopause, don't have to go through that. Healthy women don't. You know why? Never knew this until this week. The most cutting-edge research science on adrenals and hormones today says this. Women, when you hit about 40s into 50s, somewhere in there, your ovaries begin to stop producing as much estrogen. That's what they're supposed to do. Here's the cool part that God created. your adrenal glands, which I never knew, even being a trained, certified doctor, they didn't know it. Your adrenal glands begin to produce, guess what? Estrogen. Your adrenal glands produce estrogen when your ovaries stop and they take up the gap, and you stay lean, you stay healthy, you stay sexy, your hair can stay long, you be like my mama. How about that? I felt a little weird calling my mom sexy right there. You felt a little weird too? Okay. But now watch this classic. You spent 20 years, though, having kids and being on the hamster wheel. Go, 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 go. The last thing you thought at night when you closed your eyes was the 10 things you didn't get done and the 15 you got to get done before 8 o'clock the next morning. And you spent a whole 20 years like that. And when you started getting to the point where your ovaries started to kind of shut down a little bit, like they're supposed to, your adrenals were supposed to kick in, and they're nowhere to be found. And so guess what happened? You got all the symptoms and all the symptoms. You went to your doctor and you go, man, I'm feeling like it's 100 degrees instantly and it's like snowing outside. And you went in and they go, oh, well, baby, that's okay. That you're going through the change, right? Like that's what you're supposed to do. What? That's not, it may be common, it's not normal. But I can tell you this, the reason that's important is if you're going through those symptoms or you're going to go through those symptoms, it's literally saying it's okay to have a hormone cancer. It's okay. Those are just the symptoms. It's not okay. You need to address it right now. That's the problem. And so what has to happen is you need to support. Listen, raise your hand if you've been stressed in the last week. Anybody? There you go. So guess what? Your adrenals kicked in, and today, the average person right now, average woman in the United States, right now, at any age, single, female, married, kids, no kids, the average female has more anxiety than an inpatient psych ward patient in the 60s. That's not a joke. That's the research. How about that? So what ends up happening is you need to support yourself right now with adrenals. I'm going to get to some solutions, but that's what this is for, okay? It's got rhodiola, which is something that will absolutely balance and support your adrenal glands so they don't look like dried up raisins when you get to menopause. Or if you're already there, it helps them come back. Does that make sense? This is why this is part of the cancer killer, because those hormones are extremely important, okay? I'm going to go through hormones right now. But what's the other way? Let's get into some of the mindset. You got to replace negative beliefs with positive ones. All those beliefs I had right there, right? This just happened to my mom, so it's going to happen to me. That's not a good belief, okay? But let's get into real. I'm going to teach you 2 things right now. How many things? How many things? 2. I'm going to teach you 2 things right now. It's the fastest way to decrease your stress. Get your pens ready. Here we go. $1 million check as if I'm giving you cash right now. Make it rain. Give peace a chance. I'm not talking about hippie stuff from the 60s. I'm talking about not managing stress. If you go in and talk to most people, they'll talk about managing your stress, having a managing stress plan. But here's the thing. Does anybody like stress? Does anybody want stress? Does anybody want the tiger in your house that's about to kill you? Somebody wants a tiger over there. But my point is, don't manage something that you don't want anymore. Kick it out of your house. Have a plan to just get rid of the stress. Now, you're never going to get rid of stress completely, but if you work on actually getting more peace, have a peace development plan. Are you with me? So here are the fastest ways to decrease your stress and create peace in your life. First thing, write this down. Ready? Here it comes. No. N-O. Fastest way. Say the word no. Everybody say it. No, it's not going to do it. It's not going to work for you next week. I need to get a lot louder than that. Say no. A little bit better. One more time. No. It's better. Now listen, women, instinctively, something in your root, if you say no, you've got this instant knee-jerk guilty reaction. Someone asks you, hey, can you come over to the No. I just said no. It's terrible. I can't stand holding the word no. Listen, you can't feel guilty for saying the word no. You say no because you put everybody else's needs first, because that's what your mom taught you to do. That's what your aunt taught you to do. That's what your grandmother taught you to do. And as a result of saying yes to everything and saying no to yourself, you're getting kicked off the ledge right into cancers and diseases. You need to be able to say no and make it okay. Everybody say okay. Now I want you to feel it. It is really okay to say no. It's really, really okay to say no. It's okay. It's okay not to go to that Bible study. I pastored a church for 4 years. It's okay not to take meals to the hospital to sick people today. If you need to take care of yourself, it's okay. It's all right. You have to say no. Do you with me? Have to. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do any of that stuff long term anyway. Knows the first thing. Second thing, write this down. Number 2, family meeting. Family meeting. Did you write it down? $1 million check. Making it rain right there. Okay? Here we go. What do I mean family meeting? Every single week, pick a time. I don't care when it is. I want you to have a family meeting. I don't care if you're a family of 1. You're going to have a time where you sit down and you review what happened last week, what worked and what didn't work, what's coming up this week, what my needs are, how I'm going to get that met, and what my priorities are. Does it make sense? That's a family meeting. Now, add a second person, a spouse in there. Guess what? You're going to talk about your schedule and talk about what? Their schedule, right? So we're going to talk about our schedules. Do you think she's got a lot on her plate? She's got more on her plate than I have on my plate. If I don't know what's going on and I go, hey, Shortino, let's go do something this week. And he says it and I say it, we plan it. And then I get to her and go, hey, me and Chris are going to go do something. And she goes, I needed you to pick up the kids. And I go, I'm going with Shortino. Right? And guess what she'll say? Okay. No, she won't. She will now because we've been working on it. And I said it was okay. But most of you in this room, if you went right up against that, guess what you'd say, ladies? That's okay. He needs his time. He needs it, right? Someone goes, nope. I said no. Family meeting. Now watch this. Throw kids in there. Oh, my Lord of mercy. Throw kids in there. We got schedules. We got games. We got music lessons. We got whatever else. Some of you guys need to know some of that. Some of your kids have 9 different things they're doing, and you're the taxi driver. Some of you guys' moms spend more time in the car than you do at home. Say no. But you need to have family meeting. Got it? Family meeting. It will decrease your stress. It will create more peace in your life, but you have to plan it. You have to be the one to make it a priority. It'd be very easy. We do ours on Sunday at 4, usually. We can sometimes do it earlier or later, but every single Sunday we do a family meeting. If we ever go without doing a family meeting, guess what happens? Holy Lord of mercies. Somebody pray for us. It's bad. So family meeting. Got it? What are the 2 things? What's the first one? It's not going to get you to next week. First one is what? No. Good. Just say no. One more time. One more time. Good. Second one is family. Good. Whether you're family of 1 or family of 19. All right. Let's get into the essential 3. We're going to get into nutrition. Here we go. Okay. Inflammation. Time Magazine even said it. The inflammation is the killer. Cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, chronic diseases of all kinds. It's not cholesterol. It is inflammation. Now, there's different things that cause it. Could be toxins, could be xenoestrogens, could be subluxation, it could be standard American diet, could be stress, but inflammation, everybody say inflammation. Inflammation's the key. How do we get rid of that? Well, we start with the first problem. The first problem is weight loss, right? Raise your hand if you'd like to lose some weight. If you think you might be healthy if you lost a little bit of weight. And I'll throw my hand up there too. The problem is weight loss resistance and our eating habits. It's the standard. Say the standard. It's just the standard. And it's the fact that everything you eat creates sugar. So let's stop for a second. This is the hormones that having a really bad diet creates. Okay, and what happens is this. And I won't go through the hormones. It's just what they are. Do the research. I'm going to try and finish up here. This is what happens. In fact, let me go back the other way with it. Everybody say white blood cell. You've never heard this ever. There was a guy named John Ellie. He did studies in the 20s for white blood cells. White blood cells are your army. Does everybody understand that? It's your army inside your body, and they take care of degenerative issues with joints. They go in, they take care of bacteria and viruses. They kill off everything that you're worried about having, okay? They're your army. Would you like a better army? Anybody? Yeah, make your joints feel better and you never get sick, those things. That's the army that you want. He did studies on white blood cells, and he goes, white blood cells, they have a 20 times higher need for vitamin C. Okay, so they need vitamin C more than anything else. But this guy studied the pathway in how vitamin C got into the white blood cell. And guess how vitamin C gets into the white blood cell? It uses the same mechanism that your body uses to get sugar into the cell. It uses the insulin pathway. So insulin attaches to vitamin C and it goes into the white blood cell. And guess what? Vitamin C gets that white blood cell going, and guess what it does? It is your army. And he actually called a phagocytosis measurement index, basically, of how much killing your white blood cells are doing. That's what you want. And he said when you have an ability for your body to get vitamin C through that pathway in there, it's awesome. But watch what happens. The way that most people eat, so watch this. Some of you guys started your day off with breakfast that was a cereal. And it was a healthy cereal. You didn't put sugar on it. It's just Cheerios or something like that. Grains, modern grains, will cause your blood sugar to blow up so fast that one piece of bread just with modern grains does more negative for your blood sugar than a Snickers bar does. So for hours, you've got a blood sugar that's way over 120. And guess what? The white blood cell and insulin and sugar and insulin, there's a much higher affinity for sugar to attach to the insulin than the vitamin C. So what happens is your white blood cell, it can't get vitamin C. Even if you're taking every bit of vitamin C, you're loading yourself up. You're getting IV taps of vitamin C. You can't get it in your cell because your blood sugar is what? It's too high. So what happens is you eat the cereal and you go on and it's still high all the way until about 10 o'clock and you go like this, and so you eat a bunch of granola or something like this to get your blood sugar up, right? And now it's sky highs again, and then you get to lunch and you have a really healthy lunch, you have a sandwich. Right? I get all this bread again, and guess what happens to my blood sugar? The average American spends at least 16 hours in a blood sugar level that will not allow affinity for vitamin C to get into the white blood cell. So guess what happens to your white blood cell counts? Immunity goes down. You can't find cancer. You can't fight cancer. And you wonder why we end up here. Got it? And all chronic degenerative illnesses, everything. Does that make sense? So the hormones are completely destroyed in their balances, okay? We talked about progesterone and what? Estrogen. Progesterone and what? Estrogen. The three things that cause it. So the first one is standard American diet. The second one is xenoestrogens, and the third one is stress. So let's just go through the first one, standard American diet. I'm going to hit one thing. In 1984, we said fats are bad. Front page of Time magazine says cholesterol, now the bad news. Everybody needs to have a low-fat diet. Remember that? And guess what happened to every bit of cancer and every bit of heart disease? Guess what happened to the rates? Guess what we found out? Fats have a protective mechanism to everything. And if you're not eating fat, your chance of cancer goes where? Up. If you're not eating fat, your chance of heart disease goes what? If you're not eating fat, your rates of arthritic changes, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, diabetes, everything goes what? Up. We found that out because we thought that cholesterol caused heart disease, so we thought we'd be great and tell everybody not to eat it and then lower it down with drugs. Now, 2014, they say scientists labeled fat the enemy. Why? They were wrong. Fat's not the enemy. In fact, watch this. Now, you ever look at a light very long and then you close your eyes, you can see it all the time like that? You ever do that when you were a kid? I'm the only one. Okay. So I want this to be ingrained as if it was a light that you looked at too long. This is your hormone pathway, and it's a lot more complicated than that. If you got your phone, you got to take a picture of it because this is going to blow your mind. In fact, I want you to post it on Facebook, post it on all your social media sites, and say, this is why they were wrong. This is how every hormone was made in your body, okay? You have to have fat to make hormones. Say, fats make hormones. One more time. Good. Fats make hormones. Actually, cholesterol is basically from the metabolism of fat. That's what it is. Now, you can talk about HDL and LDL and low particle, high particle, all the rest. Don't worry about that. There's no such thing as good or bad. It's just cholesterol. But cholesterol right here is the beginning factor for making every single hormone in your body. How about that? So watch. If I decrease your cholesterol pharmaceutically or dietarily, guess what's going to happen to your manufacturing of all the hormones in your body? Guess what happens to them? They go what? Down. Not only do they go down, but they start becoming, you're on a ride. They're all over the place. You got one that's high, one that's low. Something's getting made, something's not getting made. Your body's making decisions, trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. Do you see a problem with this? Right? There's progesterone. Now, what happens is this. First of all, can you see how your diet would mess your hormones up? You see that? By not having enough good fats. The second thing that happens is you literally get exposed to a chemical that mimics estrogen. That's called a xenoestrogen. I'll hit that in a second. So let's say you put your makeup on, okay? Some of you guys look like you're wearing makeup because there's a lot of pretty people here. If you put on standard makeups, guess what? It's usually a estrogen mimicker. If you wash your hands in something that's not organic soap, it's got a lot of perfumes and things in it. It's usually an estrogen mimicker. If you put on deodorant today that's not organic, it's got perfumes and it's got all this other stuff in it, it mimics estrogen. Shampoos, soaps, all these different things, cleaners, right? You want to make sure our babies are safe from the flu, so we're going to take Clorox wipes and wipe everything down. These things mimic estrogen, and they build up in your body. So your body actually reads that you've got an estrogen level this high, right? And what has to be in balance? Progesterone, everything, but progesterone and estrogen have to be in balance. Yes or no? Come on. So now watch this. My body didn't produce it, but it's reading that I've got estrogen up here, right? You go to your doctor, and you're like, man, something's wrong. I'm going through menopause, or I don't feel right. My hormones are off. And they test them, and they go, man, your progesterone's in the toilet. You know how they know it's in the toilet? Because your estrogen's what? Here. And they want to do what with your progesterone? Put it up here. The problem with it is, it's not that your progesterone is so bad, although it gets that way eventually. What happens is your estrogen's so high, not because you're making it, it's because you're exposing yourself to chemicals, and your body's going, yep. Estrogen builds things in your body that you don't want. When you're 13 and you start to come into physical maturity, estrogen kicks in and you grow and things start changing. That's appropriate. But when you're 40 and your estrogen's through the roof, you don't want to grow things. Does that make sense? And it's usually those fast-acting cancer tumors that read that much estrogen and go, yep, I'll take that. And they take off on their own. That's what nobody in this room wants. So how do you keep that from happening? You decrease your exposure, right? Xenoestrogens. That's why Salad Master's here, because nonstick cookware, all of that stuff, it will absolutely ruin your health. Plastic bottles. You ought to look at different products for like face, lotions, all this stuff. And it's all out there. You can get it at Sprouts. You can get it at Walmart now. Get better solutions to cleaners and home care products so that you're not exposing yourself and your children to xenoestrogens. And lastly, metabolics. Raise your hand if you've heard about metabolics. There's a lot of you in the office. Metabolics is basically where you don't guess anymore about what you're taking. Some of you guys know, I don't want to be too transparent. I want to finish up so we can go on time. But I got really, really sick when I came back from Africa. Some of you guys know that. Like really sick. The only thing I could think of, and some of you guys may have been there or be there now, I woke up in the morning and I would put my feet on the side of the bed. And before I even put my feet on the ground, the only thing I could think of was, God, the only thing in my mind is, when can I get back in this bed? Anybody ever feel like that? So then I'd go to work and I'd adjust 100 people in the morning, because we're still running a big practice. And the only thing I could think about right when the last adjustment was done was what? Man, when can I get back in that bed? And I was so sick, I couldn't even get meetings and stuff. And I would go back to the house, and I'd go right where? Right to bed. Sometimes I wouldn't be enough energy to eat. And then I'd wake up from my nap, which was like 2 hours. And then the first thing in my mind was what? Man, when can I get back in this bed? Anybody with me? I would wake up sometimes and I'd cry, just to be honest with you. Because here I am trying to promote you guys to be healthy, and I felt like a fake. And I didn't know what to do. I was getting adjusted. My spine, I got a curve in my neck. I'm straight up and down. She's giving me great adjustments. And anyway, long story short, sent off for this lab work, which was $1,500. And I'm a little bit of a tightwad. I was like, no, I'll just stay where I'm at. And this test was metabolics. And what it found was I was deficient in CoQ10. So you guys know what that is, CoQ10. The standard dose for CoQ10 is 60 milligrams. And the test came back and said I needed 600 milligrams a day. Would I have ever guessed that? Ever. So guess what she said? Do exactly what they say. Start taking it exactly what they said. And what am I expecting? Hey, this is cool. We sent it off to Spain. Dr. Healy, the #1 cancer doctor in the world. And comes back, 3 months goes by, and I don't feel much different at all. Remember that? And we went on vacation, and I looked at her and I go, I love you, babe, but I'm not taking this stuff anymore. I was frustrated. Anybody ever been frustrated? I want to feel different. But when I stopped taking it, I went, boom, and I crashed. And I went, oh, I'll take it again. When I got back, something happened about month 4, and that's just me. It's usually not like that, but just for me, I was so depleted. About month 4, I had a complete revelational change. My whole health turned around. I actually wasn't doing caffeines because I was doing a lot of coffee and stuff to just get back where I could adjust you guys. And my whole life, I started working out at 5 a.m. in the morning at CrossFit every single day, 5 days a week. And then you guys started seeing me back again going, man, he's drinking too much coffee. I'm not drinking anything. You guys ask me how I'm doing in my day. I'm like, I'm effervescently fantastic. But why? The point is I got healthy again. And some of you guys are so far down, you guys need to take the time and do a metabolics test so we don't guess. That makes sense? That's what metabolics is. Not to get too intimate there, but that was a rough time in my life. So let's get into the diets. You're going to have this. It's part of your challenge. There's two. There's the core plan and there's the Maximize Living Advanced plan. That is in the metabolics book right here, like this. This is the exact ratios. Now, no one needs to go out and necessarily weigh things. If you want to, you can, but this is how you do it. And the advanced plan is just that. It is a plan to decrease your blood sugar in a healthy way. Who here enjoyed lunch? Awesome. Guess what that just did? You did not raise your blood sugar when you did that, and you just decreased your inflammation. Can I get a hoop and a holler and amen? Yep. Whoop, whoop. There you go. Just like mom, that's the way you eat. Could you eat that every single day and still decrease and reverse your disease? Could you eat like that? Yes, you could. Like, is that the chocolate cake diet? It could be, right? But it just has to be healthy, okay? But this is the advanced plan. It's in the book. It's in your resources. Make sure you know it. Basically, it's eliminating those things that are sugar or turn to sugar. My mom mentioned bread. Bread turns to sugar in 4 seconds. That's why your kids that don't get sugar want to suck on crackers and bread, just so you know. It's the same reason they go nuts at the grocery store. Please give me a candy bar, right? Right? That's never happened to anybody else, right? So, but people are missing things oftentimes, and I'm asked, especially by women, hey, is there something I can just take to help me maintain my levels of everything that I need? And that's why we put this together. And some of you guys say, well, I'm already taking a Centrum. I take your x-rays, and I see that Centrum in your gut before it comes out. So don't keep wasting your money. Buy something that actually works, okay? So it's a pretty embarrassing thing, too, when I take your x-rays and go, you can't read the side? That'd be cool if you could read the side where it says Centrum. You're like, is that Centrum right there? So don't waste your time. Make sure you get your multi. This is the smoothie. Did you guys get a smoothie when you came in? Who raised your hand if you got a smoothie, right? That right there, we call it a cancer-fighting smoothie. Did you like that? Right? I at least have that at least 3 days a week, and sometimes more because it's the fastest thing. It takes me less than 3 minutes to make that for my entire family in the morning and go boop, 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 done. Everybody got good nutrition. They actually didn't create disease, but they fought cancer. Does that make sense? Moms, does that feel good to give your kids something good to eat and you know they're getting good stuff? And it maintains blood sugar so they're not crashing in the middle of the day and then getting notes home because they got in trouble. Support your body's detox channels. There's several detox channels. When I say detox, you guys think like liver, and that's like the one. But do you know your skin's a detox? Did you know that? Do you know your breath is a detox, right? Some of you guys have talked to your spouse and you're like, yep, that's detox. Breath is detox. Liver is detox. Bowels are detox. Urine is detox. There's several detox pathways. The way that you have a healthy detox pathway is you have a healthy functioning system. And what we say a while ago, the number one test that can find anything before it becomes an issue is what test? Testing for what? What's the S word? Say it loud. Subluxation. Yeah. So we make sure those channels are appropriate. Minimizing toxins is it. I put a glass bottle up there because most of you guys will be drinking out of plastic at some point, and we don't want to do that. We want to decrease your plastic usage. We want to also eat foods that actually aid in detox. Broccoli, cauliflower, kale, garlic, onions. These things actually have ingredients that actually find all of these compounds and help remove them out of it. I have people come in there, honestly, they go, yeah, I haven't had anything green since like 86. So, no, that should be the majority of the ththings that you get, okay? And everything else is a treat, okay? The foods. Detox system, some of you guys know that we had to create this because there's just nothing else like it. All these foods here, they all create a glutathione bank. And basically everybody here right now, say, I have a bank account. And your bank account is glutathione. Say glutathione, right? Now you can't feel any different. If you had $1 million glutathione dollars or you had one, it feels the same. The difference is you wake up today and get exposed to a lot of things. Every single molecule of toxins that you're exposed to uses one molecule, $1 bill, if you will, of glutathione. So one day you might use 150,000. One day you might use 2, right? Actually, nowadays, every day is probably 150,000, and some days are 1 million. The problem with it is you don't know when you're bankrupt. Guess how you find out? Your cell type of cancer. That's how you find out. No one should do that. And you need to make sure you're always banking your glutathione. And I don't know if I can put it any easier than that, but most people want to feel different. I can tell you don't feel different taking a glutathione supplement like this. Actually, sometimes you actually can. You actually lose weight. I have a lot of people, I had one guy lost 18 pounds in 1 month. If you have a lot of toxic fat, your body gets rid of it, and all of a sudden, and it was one of those things I forgot to tell him. Yeah, you lost 10 pounds in a month when you first started? Yeah, I forgot that too. Okay, so detox system. That's why that's also part of the Cancer Killer bundle. Okay, maybe this will work, maybe it won't. My brother Zach. Okay, now everybody on your feet. Everybody on your feet, come on. Everybody on your feet. Put your notes down. Raise your hand if you want to decrease your likelihood of cancer by 80%. No, I said raise your hand high. There you go, good. We're going to do that right now. How would you like to actually fight cancer right now in your seat? Remember with that? Good, we're going to do that, but I'm going to tell you how to do that. It's about exercise. And you go, oh. Is this where he's? Yes, this is exactly where we're going to do this. Most people don't exercise because of 2 reasons. I'm too busy and I'm too tired. Too busy and too tired. Biggest, don't sit down. Too busy and too tired. Too busy, you're not too busy. You just haven't made the time for the priority. Too tired, it's the reason you need to exercise so you get out of tired. Got it? Too lazy. Lazy is a mindset, so maybe we need to work on that. But some of the times it's just tired and then you got to get rid of it. So how do we do that? Well, this is our Maximize Living's essential for this. It's Maximize Living Essential for Max T3. This is you guys that are patients, for that 1% of our patients in the office, this is the DVD that you haven't opened yet. So you want to open this, put it in the DVD player, and make it happen. Got it? It takes 12 minutes. I'm going to show you how to do this. It's high intensity, short duration exercise right here. Maybe. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Zach. All right, so where are my volunteers at? Volunteers? Somewhere my girls? Maybe, maybe not. Let's do this. You want to be a volunteer? Come on, come up here. Let's go. Oh, there they are. Ooh, you got a core sticker on. Come on, you can be up here too. Both of my girls. All right, you get in the middle, Shorty. Come here. All right. Now, what we're going to do is, I said play hard and have fun. Can you laugh at yourself? You can be okay with this? We're almost done. I know we're supposed to be done here, but I want you to get this. You're going to leave fighting cancer. We're going to go really hard. How hard? Really hard. You're going to do, listen, you're going to take your seat is folded up because it's spring loaded. So you're going to go down, touch your bottom on your seat, and then come up and punch twice. Touch your bottom, punch twice. Got it? And we're going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you can go 20 seconds, and you're going to go as hard as you can. How hard? How hard? How hard? Hard as you can. So we're going to go, and I'm going to time you. You're going to do 20 seconds, and we're going to get nuts. I want to hear, there should be like spitting. There should be crazy stuff. Just don't punch anybody's head or their back, okay? So this is what it looks like. You ready? So give me some music, maestro. So it's going to look like this. It's going to look like this. We're going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Got it? So here we go. So now everybody take a breath. Wait, stop. Now, give me some volume. Give me some volume. Here we go. You're overachievers. Here we go. On your mark, get set, and go. Come on, give it to me, give it to me. We're going to go really hard, 20 seconds. Come on. Almost halfway. Don't stop. Don't stop. You need to be out of breath. You got to get out of breath. Come on, you got this. You got this. Keep that chin up. Go all the way. Almost done. Keep on going. Keep on going. Hard, really hard. And stop. Good. Now, down a little bit. Stay standing. We're going to wait 10 seconds. We're going to go again. Anybody out of breath yet? Good. Excellent. And on your mark, get set. Go. Go again. Come on. Good. Good. We're going to go. Come on. Show them, girls. Punch it. Go. You got this. You got this. Halfway. Come on. I said really hard. Really hard. Really hard. You are punching cancer. You punch cancer. You knock it out. And stop. Okay. Take a breath. Wait. Don't sit down. Don't sit down. We're going to do it one more time. You out of breath yet? Here we go. 5 more seconds. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath in. She's doing it with a baby in her arms. Come on. The rest of you have no excuse. And set, go. Okay? Come on, we got 20 seconds. We got 20 seconds. Come on, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Look at this. Go crazy, go nuts, go nuts, go crazy. And come on, 5 more seconds. And stop. Give yourself a round of applause. Thank you, ladies. Mwah, mwah. Okay, now have a seat. I love you too, baby. Do you hear that? Actually, you're breathing so hard, I feel myself doing this on the stage, like this. You're like sucking me in. That's surge training. Now watch this. How long did that take to get out of breath? Someone goes, too long. No, that took literally, it was a minute. And actually, if you added it was a minute and 20 seconds. I had a lady who's lost 115 pounds. 115 pounds. Some of you guys don't weigh 115 pounds. She's lost 115 pounds. And guess what she said? She goes, you know what? I just woke up and said, you know what? I can do this. Everybody say, I can do this. If she can do this, you can do this. She was too far gone, too big, too many medications. But you know what? She went to work and she said, you know what? I'm going to do it right on my desk. So you know what she did? About every hour, right? She literally stood up at her cubicle, pushed her chair in and started going. I mean, nobody messed with her. But because she was driving her metabolic pathways constantly, guess what happened to her hormones? Listen, you're worth it. Do something crazy. Just do something different, right? If you want something different than everybody else gets, you got to do something different. You need to change up your workouts. Some of you guys are getting in the gym and you're spending all this time and your heart rate's never going above 120. You need to drive this thing. You need metabolic conditioning so it's high intensity, short duration. That's what creates that, and that's what Max T3 is. All right. On the back of your piece of paper, there's 6 things. Okay? On the back of this guide right here, okay? It says the top 6 things all healthy women do. I want you to write these down. These are your action steps for your makeover. You ready? I don't want to increase your stress. I want to decrease it, but this is how you do it. Number 1, foster an active, strong, engaged mind. How do you do that? Read. Turn the TV off. Talk with your spouse. Plan it. Maintain a healthy nervous system. How do you do that? Get to the office. Make sure you find the problem, fix the problem. We don't want to just crack your neck or something like that. We want to fix it. Engage in weight-bearing exercise 4+ times per week. Okay, was that weight-bearing exercise? That's exactly what that was. Do you have to have weights? Nope. Do you have to go to the gym? Nope. If you do, great. Change it up. Consume lots of whole foods and eat very little sugar. That's what the advanced plan is going to be. Very little sugar, right? You can eat fruit, but you're actually going to eliminate high fructose fruits. Take the right supplements. That's a really big one. Take the right ones. Some of you guys bring your supplements in for us to look at, and you're taking supplements that have like artificial sweeteners and bad oils and things, and you're like, well, I got a GNC. Avoid toxins when possible. So change those things up. Xenoestrogens, all of those things. So some of you guys are taking pictures of that. Take a picture of that. Make sure that is ingrained in your head. If you start the road with these 6 things, this is all the women that you see, like my mom, who has amazing health, that is literally people stop and talk to her about her health now. If you want that, these are the things that you do. And so if I wanted to be the greatest real estate tycoon ever, I'd go find the greatest real estate tycoon and I'd model what they were doing. And this is what you do. Is everybody with me? And I want to show you one more thing and we're done. Okay? Does anybody know who this is? Call it out if you do. I did not know till this last week. He actually just died in July. His name is Sir Nicholas Winton. And he's a guy that just knew a better way. Say knew a better way. Say knew a better way. He knew a better way. It was back in the time of Nazi Germany, in the Germans, and the Nazis were actually killing children by the thousands. And they would put them on trains, take them from their families, and then they would actually literally kill them. Scared, innocent, quivering children, they would kill them because they were just, pestilence. And he was on vacation and saw this happening, and it was Czechoslovakian children, and he goes, listen, there's got to be a way. And he sat down in his hotel room, figured out a way, started making calls because he had connections, found houses for hundreds of these children. And he was in the works of saving thousands of these children. He actually saved 669 children. But because of border laws and all the rest, there was thousands of children that he was trying to save that actually perished. And after he saved 669 children and the war was over, He closed his books, didn't tell anybody about it. Only 3 people knew, and he put it in his attic and forgot about it for 40 years. Until his wife was in the attic one day, and she found this ledger, and she goes, "What's this?" She found out what it was, gave it to a friend who actually tore it and went into a million different directions, called the news, whatever else. And there was a show playing that his wife and he had watched all the time. And they called him to be, and it was close by, they called him to be a part of the studio audience. And just to watch the show. And he goes, "Well, let's go do that. That would be cool." This is him at that TV show. I want you to watch this.
All the letters. But back here is the list of all the children. This is Vera Diamant, now Vera Gissing. We did find her name on his list. Vera Gissing is with us here tonight. Hello, Vera. And I should tell you that you are actually sitting next to Nicholas Winton.
And it was just so wonderful, so terribly, terribly touching.
Can I ask, is there anyone in our audience tonight who owes their life to Nicholas Winton? If so, could you stand up, please?
Just knew a better way. I've watched that like 10 times and I cry every time. Just knew a better way. You know, you've learned things today. There's a lot more to learn. When you come in, you walk the journey with us, you're going to learn amazing things more. But just what you learned today, can you see how you would revolutionize the lives of the people around you? Those people you were already thinking about? Man, not to woulda, shoulda, coulda. What are those people that have already been and gone that you wish they'd have known this then? Every single one of these people get up every single day, and they could go work where they get to go home at 5 o'clock. Most of the time, they're there till 7 or after, sometimes 9 o'clock at night. And they've worked about 60-hour weeks for the last 4 weeks. And I want you to rise to your feet, and I want you to give them applause, because the reason that you're going to have great results is everybody here. All right, so if you would, bow your heads. We're going to pray it up. Good. Father God, we just give you praise for today. I just thank you, Father, that you didn't leave us in a place where we have to be relegated to what our genes are, that you've showed us a better way. I thank you, Father, for this team. I thank you for people in this audience that are team just like any of these people with these shirts on, that are working hard every single day to reach their family and their friends, their loved ones at work and at church and their pastors. I ask God that you bless every single person here, that Father, as we work hard and take these small steps towards you, that we see great God-sized results, not just in our own lives, but in the lives of other people, that literally that you would reverse their diseases, that there would be a testimony of their cancer being gone, and every single time, it's so amazing that people can only look and point a finger at you, that it had to be you. So, Father, I just thank you for today. I thank you for the minutes that we've had. Ask that you literally break them like the bread and make them amazing for every single person here, that it creates a life in every single family. And we ask all of these things in Jesus' name. Amen.